Good morning, Mr. Torres. Could you please state your full name for the record?
My full name is Philip Torres.
Okay. Where were you born and what country do you hold a citizenship of right now?
I was born in Brazil and I'm a citizen of Brazil right now.
When did you become a permanent resident of Canada?
I became permanent resident in October 2013.
Under which immigration category were you granted permanent residence?
I applied for Federal Skilled Worker Program and I was granted permanent residence in this category.
What were the reasons that made you want to immigrate to Canada?
Canada offered stability for me, career opportunities, and a better future for me and my daughter. My goal was to establish myself first and then bring her to Canada permanently.
After arriving in Canada, where did you live?
I lived in Toronto, Ontario.
Considering your economic establishment in Canada, what measures did you take to get employment and when?
Yes, considering it vital, I applied for many jobs right away in the first month.
Were you able to secure a job then?
Yes,
Who was your employer?
my employer was Nikon Canada.
What was your position?
I worked as an IT specialist responsible for cybersecurity and internal technology systems.
Was this full-time employment?
Yes, it was a full time employment.
Okay. Did you consider it a stable employment and how?
Yes, I consider it as a stable employment. It was a contractual job though, but it had medical benefit and a secure position of employment.
Did you pay Canadian income taxes?
Yes, I paid Canadian income taxes.
Did you pay income taxes for all the years while in Canada and when you were away?
Yes, I paid for all the year when I earned income in Canada.
Did you obtain provincial health coverage?
Yes, I had OHIP.
Okay. Did you have a Canadian bank account and other Canadian identification documents, and what kind of documents were those?
Yes, I had a Canadian bank account. I have already submitted the documents about it. I also have driver's license for my Canadian identification. I have a health card, insurance. I also have my pay slips from my employer, um, the CRA tax documents, as well as the bank account.
Did you establish a permanent residence in Canada?
Yes, I initially rented an apartment and later purchased a condominium in December 2014 with my partner.
Okay. So please state the name of your partner in Canada and how you got in a relationship with her.
Her name is Rosemary, and I met her shortly after arriving in Canada. We began dating, moved in together in March 2014, and later bought our home together.
Did you develop the friendships while living in Canada and were they aware of your relationship?
Yes, most of my friends are from my work, and we all used to get together on weekends.
Do you consider Canada your permanent home?
Yes, I consider Canada to be my permanent home.
When did you leave Canada and why?
I left Canada in March 2015 due to illness of my grandmother in Brazil.
Before leaving Canada in 2015, what were your long-term plans?
My long-term plans in Canada were to continue with my career. I I was very happy with my job. Also, I wanted to remain with my partner and bring my daughter to Canada permanently.
At this point, had you begun sponsoring your daughter?
Yes, around September 2015, on a short visit to Brazil, I started the process of sponsoring my daughter.
Why did you wait before sponsoring her since you become a PR in 2013?
I wanted to first become financially stable when I came to Canada. My daughter was very young, so I didn't want to bring her with me without financial stability. And I also wanted to establish a suitable home for her first.
What happened to your daughter's confirmation of permanent residency after it was issued?
So after it was issued, it expired because she could not travel to Canada within the required frame time.
Were there deadlines or requirements you could not meet?
Yes, she needed to land in Canada before the expiry date, but I could not leave my grandmother.
What prevented her from completing the landing process?
She could not travel alone and was unable to accompany, and I was unable to accompany her due to caregiving responsibilities of my grandmother.
How did your caregiving responsibilities affect her ability to immigrate?
They made it impossible for me to take her to Canada, and she had no one else who could accompany her.
Who lives with your grandmother and why did you have to fly back to Brazil?
My grandmother lives with my dad. My daughter lives with my grandmother. She raised me after my parents died when I was a little child. She was like my mother. She was the only she has only my support to take care of her.
What role did she play in your daughter's life?
She was my daughter's primary caregiver while I worked in Canada.
Did you financially support your daughter and take care of your grandmother while in Canada?
Yes, I had a financially stable job in Canada, and my grandmother was not working woman due to her old age. I was supporting her so that she could take care of my daughter as she was her guardian there.
Since you did not know the length of your stay outside Canada at that point, did you make any arrangements at your job and with your partner while you would be away?
I discussed with my partner about it and obtained a leave of absence from my work too and purchased a return ticket after 3 months.
What were your specific duties that involved taking care of your grandmother?
Um, I became a primary caregiver for her. I bathed her, dressed her, fed her, administered her medication. I had to lift her. She was not mobile at all. Transported her to appointments and stayed with her during hospital visits.
Did you explore other options or people that would be there to help your grandmother?
She only trusted me. My sisters initially helped, but they have young children and are not available to be in Brazil to take care of her. So it became my primary responsibility.
You mentioned siblings. Where are they living and why are they not available to help?
They both had young children, uh, employment, and families overseas. One lived in Portugal and the other in England. It is impossible with their children and their schooling and jobs to come to Brazil for a longer period of time.
If you had returned to Canada, who would have cared for your grandmother?
No one in particular, as family members could only come from for a short period of time and not permanently, and was needed to and she was needed for her medical requirements.
So, who would have cared for your daughter?
No one, as she was dependent on my grandmother alone.
While in Brazil, did you remain in contact with your employer?
Yes, I stayed in contact with my employer.
Did you ask for additional leave once the primary leave expired?
Yes,
How many times?
they were really helpful and kind, and extended it 3 times for me.
Why were you asking for extensions?
Because my grandmother's condition continued to worsen, I had no other option but to extend my leave.
Did you ever decide to abandon your life in Canada?
No, I never even thought about it. My life in Canada was in Canada, not in Brazil.
What eventually happened to your employment?
I lost my job because I could not return after exceeding all my extensions, and the company could not hold me indefinitely. Although they conveyed that on my return, I could apply back with them surely.
While you remained in Brazil, did you continue maintaining ties to Canada?
Yes,
Coming to your relationship with your partner, where does it stand now?
my grandmother's situation took a toll on our relationship, and the stress of a long distance relationship made our relationship grow further apart until she ended the relationship with me and moved on with another partner.
When did this happen?
This happened in January 2016.
Did that affect your plans to return?
It made things more difficult emotionally and financially, but I still intend to return with my daughter and build a life in Canada.
Where were your personal belongings kept since your relationship ended, and eventually what happened to them?
As I always plan to move back to Canada as soon as possible, I stored my belongings with a close friend in his garage when I had to move them from the condo due to its sale. But when my relationship ended with my partner and I was away for a long time, my friend asked me to get them, and I was unable to do that.
After your grandmother passed away in 2018, who became solely responsible for taking care of your child?
There was no one else but but me to take care of my daughter at that point.
So why couldn't you immediately return to Canada?
I had no savings left. All my money went towards caregiving and daily survival. I had financial shortcomings and had to wait for funds that were dependent on the sale of my condo in Toronto. Medical costs, living expenses, and supporting my daughter made it impossible to save enough for travel.
How have you concluded it to be the best interest of your daughter to move her from her place of birth to Canada?
My daughter is a minor, and there was just too much for her to handle at her young age. No one should have to go through this as a child. She needed time to grasp the harsh reality, and I needed to give her space. We worked on this for a prolonged period, and considering her surroundings and opportunities in life, I thought it best to move her to Canada as soon as possible so I could take care of her in front of my eyes and provide her with opportunities in education and environment where she can thrive.
When did you apply for a PRTD?
I applied for PRTD in 2019. It was refused in September 2019.
And why was it refused?
I did not meet the residency obligation.
Did you appeal this decision?
I filed this appeal because I believe my absence was caused by exceptional humanitarian circumstances.
Considering you're living in Brazil with your child, what does your current living arrangement look like?
We live together in Brazil, but without any family support. It is just the two of us.
What challenges does your child face in this present environment?
She struggles emotionally, lacks a stable support system, and feels unsafe due to the instability in our area.
How is she managing her schooling and daily routine?
She attends school, but her performance has declined. She finds it hard to focus and often expresses fear and uncertainty about her future.
What changes did you observe in her behavior after the loss of grandmother?
She became withdrawn, anxious, and had trouble sleeping. She often cried and asked when her life would feel normal again.
How did this period affect her sense of stability and security?
It completely shook her sense of stability. She no longer had a caregiver she trusted, and she became fearful about her future.
Besides you, what support, if any, was available to her to cope with the loss?
There was no meaningful support in Brazil. We don't have extended family here who could step in, and professional support was limited and unaffordable at the time.
Did you discuss with Marcella and does she want to reunite with you in Canada?
Yes, she's very close to me. She's looking forward to a new life, a new chapter in her life together in Canada. We have been discussing it for a long time now.
What opportunities she would have if she were permitted to return to Canada?
She would have access to quality education, healthcare safety, and greater career opportunities. She would have a safer environment and greater long term stability.
If your appeal is dismissed, how would your daughter be affected?
She would lose the opportunity to immigrate to Canada through me, lose access to those opportunities, and our long term plans would be permanently affected. It would be very difficult because we have planned for years to build our future together in Canada.
How has Marcella expressed her need for your presence and guidance?
She often tells me she feels scared when I'm not around and asks when we can finally move to Canada to start fresh.
How would you describe the economic situation in your area in Brazil?
In my area, jobs are unstable, wages are low, and opportunities for youth are extremely limited.
What concerns do you have about crime or instability there where she lives?
I worry about her safety every day. Street crime, violence, and unpredictable political tensions. Emotional stress from living in an unsafe environment is quite high.
How do you see these conditions impact her future opportunities?
They severely limit her educational and career prospects. She cannot thrive there.
How would losing your permanent resident status affect you?
I would permanently lose the country I chose as my home.
What about your employment opportunities?
Opportunities to continue my career in Canada's IT and cybersecurity will be lost.
And what financial hardship would that create?
It would significantly reduce my employment opportunities and earning potential.
Would it create any emotional hardship for you?
It would be devastating after everything I invested in building my life in Canada.
How would your daughter be affected?
She would lose the future we had planned together in Canada.
Okay. If your appeal is allowed, where would you intend to live?
Um, so I would, I'm going to live in Toronto again, and I would like to live near to my friends, where I've established my friends and circle, and also my employment opportunities are better in Toronto.
Considering you were working in IT before, are you going to stick to the same plan or you have something else in mind for your job opportunities?
I will go into the same field because I was able to find a good job for myself, which made me financially stable in Canada. So I'll stick to it.
And what are your plans for your daughter?
To bring her to Canada permanently so she can attend school and build her future here.
Do you intend to comply with all residency obligations going forward?
Absolutely.
Okay. Looking back now, if your grandmother had not become seriously ill, would you have remained in Canada?
Yes, I would have remained in Canada because I came here to build my future.
Was your absence from Canada a matter of choice?
No, I was not left with any other choice but to take care of my grandmother in Brazil.
Throughout your entire time outside Canada, did you develop or did you ever stop considering Canada as your home?
Never. I left Canada only because of extraordinary family circumstances. I always intend to return, and I want the opportunity to continue the life I worked hard to establish in Canada for myself and my daughter.
Thank you, member. These are all my questions for Mr. Torres.
Dear member, I would now like to give my closing submission. Mr. Torres built a real life in Canada through stable IT work with Nikon, tax compliance, OIHP coverage, and a jointly owned home, and he took steps to reunite his daughter by sponsoring her COPR in 2016. His absence was unavoidable. His grandmother, who raised him and was the only caregiver for Marcella, became gravely ill, leaving him as the sole caregiver, circumstances recognized in Baron and Chen as exceptional hardship. He maintained strong Canadian ties throughout and applied to return as soon as his grandmother passed and financial barriers were resolved. The best interest of Marcella, as emphasized in Baker and Hawthorne, strongly favored relief. She is 12-year-old, vulnerable, and needs the stability, safety, and parental presence Canada provides. With all barriers resolved, he is ready to comply going forward, consistent with you. This case reflects necessity, not neglect, and fits squarely within IRPA 67C. I respectfully submit the appeal should be allowed.